The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right. Good afternoon, traders. Sorry for the delay. I had a little bit of an issue getting my resources lined up. Sorry. Welcome out to the Tradespoon live trading room. Stocks and options. Closing bell. My name is Scott. I'm the head trading coach here at Tradespoon. Wonderful Wednesday to you. Dennis, happy Wednesday to you, Koo. Good to see you. Bob's ready. We're ready. Hi, LK. Good afternoon, Phil. Thank you as always. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the head trading coach here at Tradespoon. Look at this. You guys ready for this? I changed my slides. I didn't save it. I just changed it like right before I started. I'm like, I should just type it in. It'll be so fast. Dennis told me it would be so fast. Seconds. He was right. It only took seconds. The question now is, will I remember to save it, or will next time it go right back down? However, my trading experience is on 24 years. My teaching, mentoring, coaching experience is at 20 years. Fabulous. It looks great. Makes me look old. I don't think I like it. Makes me look old. Don't forget the photo of me at 30. Probably more like 35, but come on. 35. I mean, I haven't changed much. I'm a little fatter, a little grayer. Oh, goodness. Here's the disclosures. Be careful out there. Be careful. That's basically it. We're not advisors. This is for education. Let's talk about the market. Ted said my photo of me at age 30. I was still getting ID'd at 30. Anyways, okay. I had a baby face, man. I couldn't get into a bar until I was 25, 26. They'd be like, let me have a manager look at this. I'm like, that's just my driver's license. I just look young. Market started negative and is recovered. If we had spoken this morning, I would have reminded you it's a long day. A lot can happen. We may not be negative by the end of the day. We might end up in positive territory. And as of now, at least, S&P is flat but up 0.05. The Dow struggling a little, still down a quarter. NASDAQ got it back and went positive, 0.17. And Russell is up to 0.3%. So, you know, it's a interesting looking bullish move that we're in. Might feel like, there's not a lot left. There may be another consolidation coming. We'll see. But it has been bullish. We have been bullish. The stock slip as earnings flurry continues. It is earnings season, and they did slip in the morning, but they're not now. So there you go. Meta, Facebook, laying off some more. I hear some crazy stories about like Facebook, Google, some of these crypto places that basically just hired people and they were like sitting around and not doing anything. I read this like article of this. She was a product manager for Google or something, and like describing a day, and it's like I don't think about things, and then I'm considering some things, and then I'm looking to be inspired, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds like there's a lot of fat to be trimmed from some of these tech areas. Bob said Musk laid off 80% and said it's still overstaffed. I kind of believe it. But why should we stay? More layoffs coming, because where are you going to go? How about that? Western Alliance stock surges after deposits jumped. Airline business travel is not going to come back. That's kind of interesting, right? Like it's like, yeah, why is there traveling? What else? Notable stocks hitting 52-week highs. McDonald's. I added that to a watch list. It's not on ours. We should look at it, but it's a little bit of a grinder, but it is definitely bullish, right? And we've said, I have for us to do a quick sector rotation. We've said that consumer staples and discretionary are sort of moving in tandem, right? They're working almost like they're, it's not like one's bullish and one's more neutral or something. Like they're both working bullishly. So as of right now, when I think about sector rotation and I think about the sectors that are leading, I'm thinking A, technology still. We'll go through and we'll do it, but I'm just going to kind of give you a preview. B, communication services. C, retail, consumer, which includes retail, both discretionary and non-discretionary retail, but consumer stocks. Industrials is still struggling. Financials is trying. Like there's some early signs of shifting in the momentum. So I would definitely say, I'm keeping an eye on that. But yeah, something to be thinking about. What else do we have? Warren Buffett dumped several banks after spotting red flags in their financials. Interesting. Could be more. What else? Yeah, that's really about it. The rest of these are just little, not really news-based, but just kind of opinion or current event, but not necessarily news. Empire State Manufacturing was down pretty heavy. Then it was projected to come back a little bit, and instead of a negative 15, we had a positive 10. Huge surprise on Monday from manufacturing. Huge. Home builder confidence index supposed to uptick a point. It did. Housing's 1.4. That's 30,000 lower. And it did drop it only by 10,000. So better than expected, but lower than previous. Building permits actually dropped a little bit more than expected. So kind of a mixed bag, but real estate doesn't really have much, doesn't hold much for us right now. Wednesday, today we have the beige book came out not long ago. And the market certainly had no problem with what it saw. tomorrow, jobless claims. You can see where we are, right? We're flirting with that area that I have identified in my own experience. 250, right? As long as we're below 250, I'm fine with it. And we were down in the high 190s for quite a little while. It's ticked up, so there's a little bit of a like, that's concerning. But we haven't crossed that threshold. And even then, if it's like all of a sudden we're at 280, I'm not like, oh shit, it's 280,000. What are we gonna do? It's like, okay, do I have 3 weeks in a row at that level? Because if I see that, then I start thinking, you know what? There's a good chance on our next non-farm payroll report that those 3 weeks contribute to, we would say an expectation of jobs lost, right? The jobs lost. So yeah, I'm feeling fine still. Right? Where are we? We've still got a couple weeks before our next non-farm payroll. I would expect nothing but more of the same. Adding jobs, maybe not 200,000-300,000, but at least 150. At this point, are we chasing longs? Ted asked. That's a good question, right? Because we are, more than several days into this bullish move. Yeah, it's tough to want to put new bullish trades on. I think that's the point you're asking, right? Do we feel like the cops have already been called and they're on their way to the party? So what are we doing here? It's time. Right? How many jobs to maintain status quo? So for jobless claims, for me, if it sits at 250, it would maintain. It would be like we would get like 150,000 new jobs, and we would basically just kind of maintain a level unemployment rate, a stable unemployment rate. That's as I went back. I did some research. I mean, this is back when the pandemic was kind of roaring, and I'm like, we were seeing like 1 million jobless claims. Right? It's like the number didn't even make sense. 890,000 jobless claims. And obviously, as we've added it back, that's where I am. But I think it can shift. Good question though. So tomorrow, jobless claims, manufacturing from Philly, we're expecting it to drop, but not as much. Home sales to drop, but not by that much. Leading indicators expected to drop worse than the previous month. Friday, there's really not much going on. I mean, for me right now, it's less about economic data. We have a pretty good sense of the Fed. It looks like we may get our first no hike for quite a while this coming report, or we may get one more quarter point hike. Either way, the market's going to like it, right? I mean, when we got a couple of 3 quarters in a row, the market just sort of, became a bit numb to it. So then when it gets to a half, and you're like, ooh, a half, what a relief. And then a quarter, you're like, let's have a picnic. Right? A quarter of a point. I think that the way that they hit it hard, let them ease off of it, but continue. So, but I don't know. I think they're going to want to just take a look and see. I think the last time we asked, it was like 50-50 split of a quarter point or unchanged on this next report, which is not that far away now. I believe it's 2 weeks at this point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd. So in 2 weeks, we're going to have a Fed announcement, and we'll get a sense of what that looks like. So when is the debt limit? Oh, I'm not sure when that next debt limit vote comes into play. That's a good question. You always have an element of political pandering that can rattle the markets, right? Where it's like, we're not going to give, we're going to lose our April. No, that's not it. That's today's date. Debt ceiling could be sooner than anticipated, they say. The X date, which is when they could no longer pay its bills without it, would be reached in the first half of June. Yeah, John, you said it, June. So first half of June. As early, the Treasury Department warned it could be as early as June 5th. While the SIBO, which is obviously a little bit more balanced, the Chicago, not the Chicago Board of Options Exchange, but the CBO Congressional Budget Office has said it may be between July and September. So yeah, interesting. Okay. Okay, let's see how Stella sees it, and then we'll jump into the quiz real fast. Neutral on the S&P. Neutral from the range trend. This looks bullish. This very much models what I see now. My market posture score. If anyone is scoring the market posture, my market posture score is a solid 3. So I'm firmly into bullish territory, but I would say, more the slightly bullish than the strongly or firmly bullish, right? It's not a 5 or a 6, but it's certainly moved enough that I'm seeing bullish. So what do we have here? The model is saying the same thing, Ted, that we said, which is this run itself may be a bit overextended. We might need a little bit of a consolidation, higher low turn. If for new trades, I want this. Right now, it's probably managing existing trades, tightening stops, taking profits, making sure you don't give too much back. That's probably your primary goal. So yes. Okay. Neutral on the range trend, bullish on the image it's projecting. I think that looks exactly like what I'm looking for, and that is, are we going to see a small consolidation followed by the next bullish move, right? Absolutely. And you can see this puts us right to May, the doorstep of May, give or take a few days. And that might be where we sort of run out of steam and we see a little bit of sideways. The VIX is helping indeed. I agree, 100%. The VIX has been de-escalating. It's been in de-escalation mode. It looks good, right? It looks good. Let's get a couple other perspectives here. You know what? Let's pause. Let's get our quiz in, and then we'll come back to the VIX. Whoops, that's not what I want. I want this. And I want this. Okay, let's get SPY. And let's get it down to a 5-minute chart. Oh, look at that. We got it all back. Okay, so here's what it's going to be. 414.50. I know where I'm going. We're going to go right across here and right across the bottom of these candles here. Bam. A, B, C. 414.50. Oh, this is a tight one. By 414.25. B's, you got a 25-cent range to sit on the fence. 25-cent range for your fence sitting. Other than that, A, you're above 414.50. C, you're below 414.25. Where are we going to end up? I've got Randall saying A. I've got LK saying A. I've got Dennis saying A. I've got Brad saying A. I've got Ted saying B. Koo says A. A lot of bulls. A lot of bulls. You know what? Today, I'm going C. B would have been C, but too bad. It's only a 25-cent range, Bob. That's like one of the smallest ranges I've ever done. 25-cent range. I'm going C. I'm going C. Bob's going B. He said he doesn't think he's going to fall all the way through that range. John, where are you? I'm going to put John as a C until he comes in and tells me otherwise. But after you convince us to be bullish, you go C. He said, no, I'm bullish. I'm bullish as a posture. Today at the end of the market for the last 33 minutes, I think the sellers may come in and push it back down. That's it. Plus, you guys know how it's a bit iffy sometimes. Jacques is going to join me and John. John is by default, but Jacques is going to join us as a C. Okay. Everybody's in. Everybody's in that wants to be in. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. Let's erase this. Okay. Let's go back. We'll go back. We'll finish our morning, or our pre-routine, our starting routine. Carmen is an A. She wanted to make sure I knew. She is an A. Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. Let's see the Q's. The Q says slightly bearish, but when you look, it really looks neutral. So the SPY said neutral, but looked bullish. And the QQQ looked neutral, says bearish, but looks neutral. So a little pullback followed by just kind of a sideways consolidation. Understood. Let's get into DIA. And we'll see where that puts us. And let's see. Okay. Says neutral. Says neutral, but looks more like the S&P. Small consolidation followed by a bullish kick, right? 2 out of 3 look more bullish. 1 out of 3 looks more neutral. The IWM has been where the lag is. And it's saying neutral, but looking neutral. All right, there you go. There you go. Okay. That's everything. Let's take a look at seasonal. Still some time. We are. You can see. Look what we said. Are we expecting this April rally? I said yes. We got the April rally. It went up, it pulled back, it went up, it pulled back, up. We still have time, right? We still have 10 days for another rally before we may get that sideways action. Okay, let's keep going. The S&P, the map today, Amazon is strong. We've talked a little bit about Amazon and consumer stocks. Apple looks pretty good today. Overall, you can see Cisco got beat up, but a little bit of possible recovery coming from financials. Medical devices, strong here, weak here. Devices are strong, plans are weak. Overall, kind of neutral day. I don't think we're going to get much out of that one way or the other. And then let's get a quick sector rotation in. We'll talk about the watch list and what kinds of trades or setups Okay. Managing a trade, I've had to take a peek at a couple of things myself. I understand. I marked you as a C. It is what it is. That's what you are. Let's get to the watch list. Oh no, let's do sector rotation. Sorry. Energy back up top again from this 9-month perspective, but overall it's a bit iffy. Technology looks bullish. Industrials, which have fallen off a little bit as of late, and materials. So this kind of sets the tone. You can see utilities is down at the bottom. Staples is down at the bottom. Financials, healthcare, not a lot. As we come into 6 months, we go 133 days. And we'll take a look. We'll take a look. Okay. Who's at the top? Technology, communication services, industrials, materials, and staples. So we're seeing a pretty interesting mix here at the top. Let's take it down to 66 days. Yeah, a little bit of defensive and a little bit of growth. You're exactly right. Technology, communication services. That's where we're seeing the consistency now. As we drop from 9 months to 6 months and now to 3 months, where do we see consistent strength? It's not from energy. Energy's down at the bottom now. Right? It's not from industrials. Industrials have fallen. It's not from materials. Materials have fallen. What has held its strength? Technology, communication services. Those are two of the strongest. So if you don't have a watch list chock full of those, if you haven't been trading those, you've missed out on opportunity. That's why we talk about sector rotation as much as we do. So right? Keep that in mind. As we drop from 66 days to 22 days, now we're looking to see who's got the momentum to surge a little bit. Well, energy. So am I back thinking about oil and natural gas stocks? Yes, I am. Everything else is just kind of mixed, right? A little bit of materials in there, a little bit of financials. That's why I said, hey, you know what? I am a little bit considering the financials. Because of what I see here. The rest of these are just kind of a little bit lackluster. Technology's down here in the group, but does that mean I don't like technology? Nah. No, I mean there's not enough for me to think money's not flowing into those anymore. I think everything again looks fine the way that it is. Okay. Let's dive into the watch list. Six-month daily. Let me get the full list up over here. Alcoa. So here with materials, there's not much, and we have earnings today. So now we're really going to see the earnings starting to come a bit harder. And see what it looks like. Let's keep going. Apple gave us a trade, right? If you remember back here, we liked this and we said, hopefully you're able to get in early in the day, not late in the day. The earlier you got in, the better this trade is. And am I starting to see a little concerned? Yeah, I don't like that this is pinching, but it looks great still. Even this morning, it was like, meh, that's fine. Let's see. There could easily be 2 more days, 3 more days. Would I be getting into Apple now? Seeing this pinch in the overbought zone, in the upper reversal zone, would I be like, hey, should I trade this? No, I'm not looking to trade it. I'm looking to manage the trade that I'm in, then wait for the next one, because I do think that the next one will come out. So okay. Adobe. Let's take a look. Not as strong. It gave a good signal like Apple, but it didn't really move much. That's a little concerning for Adobe, for software. So, okay. Let's keep going. ADI. Chips are interesting, right? Chips are interesting right now because they look like they wanted to try to go and they didn't, and now they're just sort of like they wanted to go. I'm going to keep my eye on these. Archer Daniels had a good setup. It's moved, but it looks like it's coming to an end, maybe pulling back, and we have earnings. So probably not much there for now. Okay, AMD, a little bit concerning that it was a high or a low, then a lower low, then another lower low. It's still holding this old resistance, but I'll tell you what, it really needs to start trying to do something better. I don't know on AMD if I'd be willing to trade it or if I would need to see it break its consolidation. And then give me a higher low and then say, okay, now, problem is too, earnings are just right around the corner. So be careful with what you do on something like that. All right, let's keep going. NVIDIA, John said, yep, we'll get there. That's this one early, and it was up here, and you can see it's actually moving. If you did trade it, you'd be making money. Yeah, if you're in it, manage it, right? AXP, not quite yet. What I'd like to see on AXP is earnings come out tomorrow before market. Yeah, I'm not going to put a trade on the day before market. However, what I do want to see, maybe it gets up here to 170-ish and then pulls back, and then I catch the higher low. Higher low, let's go. That's the rule. Baba. Yeah, see? Even then, I'm like, oh, it looks okay, but it's not lasting long. Caterpillar looks bearish. The industrials do not look good right now. Caterpillar, Boeing. Do we look at Boeing? Boeing doesn't look great. Gap down. Looks like it's falling off. Caterpillar looks like it's hitting some resistance. Just had a lower low, now a lower high. That does not look good. Deere, same thing. ConocoPhillips, that looks close. We know that there's been a surge into energy again. There is institutional money flowing in energy. So if you have oil stocks, natural gas stocks, anything along those lines, I do think those are where you're going to find some valid setups. This is one for me that looks like it's getting close. Maybe we see this develop by the end of the week. Put it on the short list. Costco's kind of iffy, kind of sideways. Still waiting to see what that can do. I'll tell you what, I liked Cisco. I was thinking, look how close this is. If this had been anything stronger than a doji, I would have taken it. But after I got that doji, I thought, let's wait for one more day. Didn't get a signal, then it fell apart. So obviously this is no longer at play, and this does not look great. Yeah. Okay. Saki with the doji. Heck yeah. DBC looking bullish, looking like it's setting up for a trade. John Deere looking bearish, like it's setting up to drop. If I were to trade anything bearishly, I'm less bearish about pretty much anything right now, but if I were going to, it would be this. It would be like, yeah, these look like they're ready to drop again. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. Miss GE. Do I have it on my list? We'll get there. Let's take a look. Diamonds looks a little bit overbought. Pulling back. Disney, it's kind of grinding sideways. I don't know. Like, you want to trade Disney? Is it has some weird fight going on with the governor of Florida? It's a bit iffy for me. A weird scenario. FCX looks bullish. Higher high. Pulling back a little bit. Maybe that develops. We do have earnings. Be careful. FedEx. I think FedEx is setting up. That's still, for me, from industrials, one I'm looking at. Put it on the list. FXI, no. Gold looks somewhat bullish. I'm just not trading a lot of metals right now. Google, possibly. Communication services. Goldman Sachs had earnings. Expecting 814, reported 879. It gapped down, it rallied up, and then it got a little bit more. I don't know. Not enough there. to know. IWM mostly sideways. The Jets still hasn't broken yet. I like MasterCard, but it's overextended. The question is, will it pull back and give us a trade before earnings comes out? No, not sure yet. Here's GE. Bob said we missed the consolidation. Sure enough, we did. I thought we had put that on our list. Did you catch it? Realistically, probably this day here, so it'd be day 3 of making it go up. So yeah, I see what you're looking at there. G is a grinder, absolutely. Meta's coming back down, but I'm willing to trade Meta when it gives a signal. It looks like it's getting closer. Marvell, I don't like it as much. Microsoft, I do like. It's not really in a necessarily a buying position. Netflix, still waiting. Nvidia gave a signal back here. So who's in Nvidia? We talked about Nvidia Friday. It gave a signal on Monday. Anybody in Nvidia? Was in already? Yeah, that's one I took. So it met our rules and it looked viable. I like it. I love it. Want some more of it. Oracle looks pretty strong, but it looks like it might be pulling back. The Q's just kind of hanging in there. Starbucks. I like Starbucks again. Starbucks just needs to pull back, and then we will have a nice opportunity on our hands. Starbucks is on the list. Silver looks pretty bullish. If you're going to trade materials, that's probably the one. That is probably the one that I would be looking at. Semiconductors. I like Nvidia, but if not, it's there. Yeah. I do think it's still viable, John. If this turns back up again, and let's see. Sorry, I got to manage one thing on a trade here. Okay. SPY looks bullish still. Tesla does not. Natural gas. Okay, natural gas. It fooled me once already. I readily admit that. But we came down here and it kind of broke the consolidation, but it wasn't enough because for me it was a lower low. So if I redraw this and say that it just slowed down, that definitely broke the consolidation. It definitely did it with volume. And now it's pulling back. What do I want to see? Any pullback above 625 low. So if it pulls back to 650 and then it turns, I will trade this. Yeah, I absolutely will. I don't see how it's going to hang out down in that 6 level for long. Visa higher high. Its trend looks much better, but it is running out of steam. The VIX, my goodness, 16.5. Oh, the VIX guides us in ways that we can't even understand. Let's marvel in the reverence and glory of the VIX. Magnificent. All the way back down. It could be a little more. Let me get down to 16. Oh, that's right. McDonald's. We said we were going to talk about McDonald's. McDonald's. That's not it. McDonald's. Mickey D's. It's just a grinder, though. That's the hard part about it. CMG, Chipotle Mexican Grill, the Burrito Factory, looks magnificent. Yum Brands, Yum is Panda, isn't it? Looks good. Higher. We should get some of these on our list. Let's put all three of those on. Mickey Donald's. This is where I should have been a little more aggressive. I've been talking about seeing the staples. That's where we'll see the restaurants. About seeing them, but I didn't act quickly enough to get a few more from the staples. In really a comprehensive look at the entire consumer sector. Taco Bell and KFC. That's what Yum is. Okay, I thought Panda was a part of that too. CMG, did I get Yum? CMG. Okay. Tesla. He said the VIX. Verizon. Telecommunications. Yeah, we wanted it to try right through here. You know what? I know a few people who did take that trade. I didn't end up on that one, but that looked fine. And then it did this. I'm still okay with this. Anything above 38, I'm going to be okay. Really, yeah, somewhere around that range. We'll see if it recovers. Financials, there's that recovery. We said it looks like it's trying. And this is one that I would trade, XLF. But we broke the consolidation, higher high, higher low. First good trade came right back there. And it's moving on up to the east side. And yes, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. We all know where that's going. Now looking for maybe a consolidation. Earnings, Verizon has it on the 20. Oh, yeah, coming up soon. Verizon coming up soon. I have no problem trading XLF. So, restaurant is part of hospitality, comprised of restaurants, bars, other food. Yeah, it's looking strong. Money's flowing. Where money flows, we goes. That's mine. I just coined it. Yeah, that's for me. Where money flows, that's where I goes. We goes. I don't know, something. It's a work in progress. XLP. Yeah, it's bullish. It's just not giving like a lot of signals. XLY, bullish, same thing. Yum Brands, it's higher high. It's looking pretty strong. Right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Nothing to trade today. No signals. A few things setting up. A few things being managed. My posture is bullish. UPS is FedEx and yeah. FedEx is considered industrials, actually, a lot of places. But yes, transports. UPS does look good, actually. I'm going to add UPS to the list. Not tradable today, but definitely looks strong. Right? Not tradable today, but definitely looks strong. Let's get back to the quiz. Oh, let's see. I was looking for the sell-off. It sold off. It's coming back a little bit. Everyone always says, if I call it early, right now it's in the C territory, and I would win. Everyone, I don't want to be accused of calling it early, but this is when we call things most of the time. So, Jacques, John, and myself, we're gonna take our gold medals. We're calling it. 2 minutes left. If it rallies, bees, you can certainly make the argument. But yeah, I'm gonna take the dub on that one. All right, keep an eye on the earnings. But look, I'm feeling more bullish. I see things more bullishly. The right sectors are in place. It looks like financials wants to try to move into that range. If we get that breadth, I might think that the selling may go away, may not happen. We may get bullishness going into the summer, right? Especially if all of a sudden we get some Fed dovishness, not even necessarily dovishness, but no hawkishness. We move from a firmly hawkish Fed to a neutral Fed. That could be enough. So there it is. All right. Well, listen, it's great to see you guys. I always miss hanging out when we have our 5-day break after Friday morning. Now we only have to wait Thursday. We'll be back Friday morning again. We'll see if there's a couple of trades actually setting up and pulling the trigger and ready to go. Have a great rest of your day. Have a wonderful Thursday. I will see you guys Friday. And as always, happy trading.